What up, Mark Martinez? You're watching the Raiders Report, and the first question coming in, correct me if I'm wrong, but shouldn't we get a comp pick for losing AB to the Pats, FAB? Unfortunately, the Raiders do not get a comp pick for Antonio Brown. We gave up a third and a fifth to get the FAB, and now all we have is just, we're just F. So, again, we are doing a draft Q&A. You're watching the Raiders Report live on YouTube and on Facebook. Go check out the Facebook. You can see it below, facebook.com/JustWinBabyRaiders. Give it a like. Okay, next question coming in here from Caleb Landry. All right, Raiders will get a second before the draft in any trades. I know Mike Mayock wants to add a second-round pick. I think the way that the most likely way the Raiders get a second-round pick is if they're at pick 19, nobody's on the board on draft day, and then they trade back that 19 to maybe get a late-round first, early second. That's how I think the Raiders get a second-round pick. Appreciate the question, though, Caleb. Let's go to Dale Webb Jr. Everyone tell Dale what he needs to do. Should the Raiders draft Jalen Hurts? I think it all depends on when, okay? It all depends on when. I think I'm starting to come around a little bit more on Hurts. I know he's a very, very smart player. His decision-making needs to be a little bit quicker, but I'm not drafting Jalen Hurts in the first. If we somehow get a second-round pick, I'm not drafting him in the second. And to be honest, I don't really want to draft Jalen Hurts in the third. If Hurts is sitting there at pick 111 in the fourth round, I would then think about it. To me, you're drafting Jalen Hurts to be a Taysom Hill. Yes, it's valuable, but I'm not trying to go out and find a backup quarterback. No offense to Jalen. I just don't see him ever being a starter in the NFL. Let's go to King Higgins. What up, my man? Patrick Queen needs to be a Raider. We should take him at 19 or trade down, but I want Queen in Vegas. I'm starting to like Patrick Queen a lot more, too. I am still split on Kenneth Murray, Patrick Queen. Kenneth Murray is not going to participate at his pro day, which is intriguing to me to see what happens. But Queen's very raw. Very, very athletic. That showed, but also very raw. He's only started 1 year at LSU. I like Kenneth Murray. I like Patrick Queen, but I still think that taking both of these players is a little bit of a reach. It's not quite of a reach as like Cleveland Ferrell at 4. I like Cleveland a lot. But again, when you reach for players, when you have so many needs, I don't know if it's the best fit. There are some other linebackers out there, like I like Akeem Gaither from Appalachian State. But after Isaiah Simmons, the top two guys are easily Queen and Kenneth Murray for me. So we're coming up here on 40K subs. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So I want to know from everyone watching, how should we celebrate 40K subs? Right now we got 39,380. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, click the big red button, turn on the notifications. I'll put the link in the chat and in the description, but it's youtube.com/Raiders Report. So this is how we've celebrated in the past. At 10K subs, I dyed my hair silver. If you don't believe me, it's on my Instagram. For 20K subs, I gave my man Kev Week 1 Monday Night Football tickets to the Broncos game. Got to meet up with him too. 30K subs, you guys wanted me to do Edward 40 hands. That is also on my Instagram, at MitchellRenz365. So I want to know, what should we do for 40K subs? As somebody, that boy Tsunami says, 40,000 beers. I don't know if I could do that. I did 84 in 6 minutes on AB. That one's on YouTube. We'll figure it out. I'll get some comments. If you want to get some extra bonus points, again, you can DM me, but I'm trying to figure it out. What should we do for 40K subs? Let's go to my man, Sir Lester of Smeg. Name a few wide receivers Raiders could realistically target in round 3 that would fit our system. So I would have loved to say Denzel Mims. And in my first mock draft I did, I had Denzel Mims going to the Raiders. That ain't happening anymore. I think when you think about some third-round wide receivers, you're going to see a lot of guys kind of drop. I also think it determines like where a player, maybe like a Justin Jefferson's going to go. I think he's going to go in round 2. Let's see here. KJ Hamler's an interesting player for me out of Penn State. Michael Pittman Jr. is another wide receiver out of USC, where I know Tom compared him to Michael Thomas the other day. Well, he said he's a lesser version. You should use him like Michael Thomas. All right, you use Michael Pittman Jr. like Michael Thomas. All right, you guys can go back and watch the tape. So we'll get some more. We're going to be doing a draft segment on some wide receivers, so stay tuned for that. Let's go to SLS Gaming Network. Should we get nuts? Okay. Draft 2 linebackers, Murray at 12, Queen at 19, or 2 wide receivers, Lamb at 12, and Jefferson at 19. If I had to pick which one I like more out of the 2, I would actually go with wide receiver in that case, because There's no way I'm taking Kenneth Murray or Patrick Queen at 12. The only player that I would actually take at that value is CeeDee Lamb. And I do like taking wide receivers a little bit more in the draft, considering the fact that you're going to have to pay them more. There was a report, though, out today that Robbie Anderson does believe that he's going to get a deal done, I think, with the New York Jets. So that's something to keep in mind. Let's go to Chris Smith. What up, Chris? Do you think we get a late-round steal like last year's draft? I mean, I got to say yes. I mean, we have Mike Mayock, who I think is definitely one of the best in the biz. Mike gets a lot of credit, and I don't think John gets enough credit because of how good Mike is at his job. But I think our scouting team is doing the right things. I am very confident in what the Raiders are going to be able to do. And, yeah, we found Hunter Renfrow, steal. Alec Ingold, UDFA, found him. He deserved if you guys haven't seen the video of Alec Ingold, go to my Twitter of him jumping like 54 inches off the ground. He's just sitting and just explodes. It's nuts. Back on track, though. But, yeah, I think we'll at least get a few steals. So, if we do get a steal, I think we'd be pretty lucky. And I want to know from you guys, are you lucky? Y for yes, N for no. I'm going to be in Vegas for the draft, so I'm trying to pinpoint some people who are lucky, help me win some money, help me get, pay off a few things that I need to pay off. So let me get some Y's for yes, N for no. Dale Webb says yes. All right, Dale, you come find me if you're going to the draft. Steve says no. Steve, don't find me. Robert King Higgins. Chris, you guys come find me. Yes, I was born in the USA. It's a good answer, Cam. Well, if anybody was born in Ireland, or if anybody, wants to get schmacked, you can go to chatsports.com/RaidersGreen1. So I'm going to have two T-shirt deals. I'll put it in the description. I'll put it in the comments. Both shirts are under $30. And if you're like me, I'm always trying to figure out what the hell am I supposed to wear for St. Patty's Day. So why not wear some Raiders gear? So that shirt, chatsports.com/RaidersGear1. And this other one right here, I kind of like this one, I'll be honest, a little bit more. The Raiders Green 2 shirt. Again, it's chatsports.com/RaidersGreen2. Make sure that you're repping your team during St. Patty's Day. It's the time of the year where I take a lot of pictures, and I expect to see a lot of pictures on my Twitter and on my Instagram wearing these T-shirts. And if you buy the shirt, DM me. We'll put you on the show. So it looks like we got a super chat rolling in here from Mark Martinez. He actually got this one in way, way early. How about Gabe Jackson of the Dolphins for a second-round pick? They have 2 second-round picks. They need offensive line help. We need a second-round pick. Sounds like a win-win. Would I do it? Yes. I would trade Gabe Jackson to the Dolphins for a second-round pick. The Dolphins have, I believe, 5 picks in the top 56, if my memory serves me correctly. And for the Raiders, they do still need a second-round pick. I just don't think that Gabe Jackson's going to get second-round pick value. I don't. I think if we can get a 4th-round pick, 5th-round pick, you might get mad at me. But don't be surprised if there is a trade that goes down with Gabe Jackson. It's for a 4th. It's for a 5th-round pick. If you think I'm crazy, hey, yell at me. That's what this channel is all about. Let's go to my man that needs to get a pick. What up, Zach? You're sitting in the 3rd round with Eason and Gordon. Who are you taking and why? I'm a Washington State fan, so I'm taking Gordon. I like Gordon, and Tom, I think, kind of said it perfectly about Gordon yesterday on our NFL Daily Show. Gordon was one of our sleepers. But now he's always in every sleeper article that I look at that I don't even know if he's a sleeper anymore. You know what I mean? Now, my only concern with Gordon, he doesn't really have that strong of an arm. I've seen some comps that he could be like a Drew Brees type player. I don't quite see that. But I think Gordon's a good player. But if you want upside, I think it's Jacob Eason. He's definitely got the bigger arm. And in terms of who do I think is more likely to get drafted by the Raiders, I think it's Jacob Eason because of the arm, because of the high upside, because I think Gruden thinks that he can mold Eason to being a big-time quarterback. Let's go to Michael Daly. Where is the party during the draft? Right in the heart of Las Vegas. So we're working on 1 or 2 more details. I will promise you this, though. If you subscribe to the channel, if you got your notifications turned on, you will know when I say, or you'll know where the draft is, what time it is, but it's going to be a party all 3 rounds in the heart of Las Vegas. I'm just unfortunately not allowed to give out all the details yet, but I appreciate everyone. Maybe if you guys DM me, I can tell you. Just can't say it on here. Let's go to Cam's Life. What up, Cam? Which round, if any, do you think Mayock would find a diamond in the rough? I mean, that's a tough question. I would say if you can find a diamond in the rough for me, I would say anything after the 4th round. Because to me, a diamond in the rough, I guess it always depends. Like, I mean, you could actually argue Derek Carr has been kind of a diamond in the rough, right? You take a quarterback in the 2nd round who's been as productive as what he's been. That's kind of like a diamond. But I think of like a Maxx Crosby, a player who you were drafted in the 4th round, 106 overall. That's the kind of diamonds in the rough I'm looking for. So we'll say anything in the late 4th. Let's go to Mike. What up, Mike? Okay. Gabe plus number 12 pick for the trade up. How far would it get us? Number 9? I mean, it would probably get us up to 9. I'm trying to think what the NFL draft order is. So that's the Jags pick. I mean, it could be interesting because I know I talked about Yannick Ngakoue, and you guys did not like me talking about Yannick the other day. I think the 12 and Gabe Jackson up to 9, I still actually don't even know if that's enough. I think it depends on what the team needs, and sure, the Jags, they do need a lot of help, but I don't really know if they want to invest in a player like Gabe Jackson. Looks like we got a super chat. What'd you say, Tom? He said Cleveland at 10 could make sense because they definitely need some offensive line help. Trade Joyner, 1980 to move up for Simmons. I mean, that probably would be enough to move up to go get Isaiah Simmons. I think if you want Isaiah Simmons, you got to probably go up to pick 3 to be safe because I think if he's there at 4, the Giants take him, but it's Dave Gettleman. You just never know. I think if you could trade Joyner 19 and 80, I think it could get you up to Simmons. The only issue with that is I don't know if a team's going to trade for Joyner. You got to think that he's literally coming off his worst year ever. There's not a lot of trade value there. Would I do it, though? Yeah, I would do it. So I know this is the Raiders report. I know we're not talking basketball normally, but I want to in this case. I want you to shout out your favorite NBA team. I went to a Mavericks game, 3 nights ago? It was on a Sunday. Had a good time. The Mavericks, they're not my favorite team. I can promise you that. So I want you to shout out your favorite NBA team. I know a bunch of y'all are Raider fans. I would have guessed majority King Higgins, James Lakers, Nerf Snipe is Lakers. We do have a Lakers channel. Go check it out. Hannah, she does a great job over there. We got a lot of Lakers. Wow. A Pacers fan. Oh, I want to go watch Pacers Mavs. That was an interesting game. Warriors from Xavier Charles. I'm sorry to hear that. Roger the Iceman Smith Jr. I grew up a Knicks fan as well. Family grew up in New York. So I want you to continue to shout out your favorite NBA team. Dan, my man, we had a surprise at 4 last year. What's a surprise at 12 you could see them doing this year? I mean, if they draft a quarterback at 12, I'd be very, very surprised. Linebacker, I think would be surprising. I know it's not normally Paul Gunther's MO to draft a linebacker early, but with them moving on from Tahir Whitehead, with them likely cutting Vontaze Burfict, with Will Compton testing free agency, it wouldn't surprise me if the Raiders went out and got a player like a Patrick Queen or like a Kenneth Murray at 12. It'd be a little bit of a reach for me, but if there's one thing that I've learned, if they know a player and they think that he can fit that system, the Raiders have no problem going up and getting him. What up, King? Not that I want the Raiders to move on from Carr, but how interested are the Raiders in drafting Jordan Love? I know that they've interviewed Jordan Love. I think Love is going to be a first-round type of player. My only issue with Love is I'm not taking him at 12. I really don't want to even take him at 19. I've seen some Patrick Mahomes comparisons. I'm not there. I think it's actually very, very unfair to Jordan Love, who is a talented player, does have a lot of raw skills, but you can't compare him to the best quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. But I would say if I'm interested in drafting a quarterback, if you want to go for a high upside, I'm kind of a little bit more on board of going after like a Jacob Eason, late 3rd. That's kind of where I'm at. But Jordan Love, if it happens, guess what? I guess I'm going to have to love it. Let's go to Steven Rader. Is that a Carr? With Whitehead out, who are we targeting to replace him? Well, Steven, it's a great question. And coming up here in, I don't know, maybe a few minutes, we're going to be going over 7 linebackers that I think that the Raiders could go out and target to help replace Tahir Whitehead. If you want to shout out a linebacker that you want the Raiders to sign in free agency, right now's your time to do it. Throw it in the comments section. So how about this? Perfect. Name a linebacker that the Raiders should sign. We'll give some shout-outs to some of the peeps that are watching. I appreciate everyone that's tuned in. I'll head on over here to Facebook because y'all deserve it. Harold Plummer, Kevin Christopher Williams, Mike Munoz Jr., Raider Mike says Love is badass. We're still talking about him. How about this? We'll go over here now. A lot of Littletons. A lot of Littletons. Then, of course, we get an FAB in there. Kenneth Flood says Schobert. So name a linebacker that the Raiders should sign. If you watch until the very end, I didn't make this up. Catch me on the gram. Follow me on Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. Show me that you got your notifications turned on. Tell me what you liked about the show. Tell me what you disliked about the show. I listen to the people that watch to the very end, but I do go through my DMs every single time after the show. That is at MitchellRenz365. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.